It's not often that a father and son, both heavily rooted in the entertainment industry, get the opportunity to travel around South Africa, discovering not only the beauty of the country, but also their own history and heritage. That is exactly what jazz icon Hugh and his son Sal Masekela have been busy with. Sporting television network ESPN commissioned a 10-part series entitled Umlando, Through My Father's Eyes. The 4 to 5 minute long inserts will take an introspective look at the many South African cultures as well as the history of the nation and the Masekela ancestry. Chatting to Times Live, Sal, or Salima as his father more affectionately refers to him, said that a documentary like this will hopefully change the vague perceptions many have of South Africa and Africa as a whole.
I think that the Western world, especially in the States, people don't have any real comprehension of South Africa and what its people are and who make up this country, and what their traditions are and what their music is and really what South African culture is. The real comprehension of South Africa for most people is apartheid, Mandela, and the animals. And that's it. That's really their knowledge. And that really just scratches the surface, and a real light scratch of how much rich culture and history there is here. So to be able to take advantage of the stage of the World Cup, which is the biggest stage in sports for the entire planet, and be able to sneak in what South Africa really is in the midst of that, and to do it this way, that's really what drew it to me.
The two travelled to places such as Mpumalanga, the Eastern Cape, Swaziland, and KwaZulu-Natal. In order for Hugh to commit to this project, he wanted reassurance from the network that there would be a focus on the traditional aspects prevalent in each of these provinces and their symbolic historical meanings. Something he says ESPN was more than willing to do.
When ESPN said, Selema, my son, was going to be their voice and face and man in the street, but they wanted me to show him the country, I said I would only show it if I could show it through a traditional heritage performance canvas coupled with the beauty of the country, off the beaten track of tourism. And they were very excited by it. They did a lot of work and reconnaissance, and I accompanied them a lot to show them my suggestions. We arranged for places, especially where Selema's ancestry is, which is in Mpumalanga, and all the performance groups that had been working on my bringing him. My father came from Limpopo, so we're going to go up there and we're going to see Venda pageantry and Shangaan pageantry and Ndebele pageantry and Bapedi pageantry. We're going to go and see Zulu pageantry. We're going to show him the Xhosa pageantry and the Sotho and Tswana pageantry. And at the same time, it's things that I never had access to at such a high level. So it's been exciting to experience it with him and also to show him. And also to just run down what really happened here as sort of socio-economically and culturally.
Hugh says that not only will this documentary help outsiders see the diverse cultures present in the country, but it will also hopefully assist South Africans in finding out more about themselves.
It's a pity that we don't see it as South Africans. We don't see and see all these things that we're seeing together. And as a result, we don't know each other. Of course, the outside world doesn't know us at all. But we don't know each other, and we're still stuck in the go-slow lane of the ethnic grouping that was imposed on us. And I think that we need to get out of that. And the only thing that can take away our xenophobia is for us to be able to have platforms where we can see each other's culture, taste each other's food, wear each other's clothes, hang out in each other's neighborhoods and see who we really are. Then we'd be a rainbow nation. We have a very rich rainbow, but we need to go into it. We haven't gotten there yet because we don't know each other And ethnic groups in South Africa basically keep very much to each other. And I think breaking that wall is very important for the future of this country. It's very important for the future of Africa.
In 1991, Salima came out to South Africa for the first time. He said it was only then that he realized the true meaning and the effect the apartheid regime had on his father and the greater African population.
I never really understood why my dad didn't have a place to live. You know, he slept in different places and he lived per se, but he didn't have a home. And I never really understood that. And so it took a little while for me as I got older to really understand what apartheid was and why he was out crusading and banging his fist and yelling loud for this thing to end. When my dad brought Serafina to New York in the mid-'80s, that's when I really got a sense, a real true understanding of what apartheid was. Because, you know, all the kids that were in the cast were all my age. We were all like 16-year-old kids. And that was really when I really got it, you know, getting it from my peers, my generation, and them telling me their stories of what it was like for them at home. Yet, you know, in New York, it was like someone had just handed them the whole world. In '91, I came here for the first time with my dad on his second Jalo tour, and while apartheid had ended on paper, it definitely had not ended in the streets. And I got to see firsthand, you know, how ugly and disgusting this legal experiment of racism had been. I mean, to the point where in Durban they tried to arrest me, you know, for surfing at North Beach in Durban, in a real ugly way. Like, it was pretty crazy. If I didn't have my passport on me or scream that I was American and them not recognize my last name, I might have taken a trip to Vosloris that day, I think.
Sal, who also doubles up as a presenter for E-Entertainment show The Daily 10, says he'll be back for the World Cup in June.
I'm going to be here for the entire World Cup, and I'm basically going to be the man on the street, the eyes and ears to the world, to the rest of the world, about what's happening in South Africa. And some of the stories might be about how South Africa, you know, watches and engages in the World Cup, but I think other stories will be more stories that are just pertinent to what's going on here in pop culture, what's going on from a little bit of a socioeconomic standpoint, what's going on with its young people. This is the country. Maybe I'll go jumping in and dive with some sharks in Cape Town, I don't know. But, you know, just a little bit of everything so that, again, in the midst of the games, people can be like, I want to go and do what he's doing. I want to go there to that place. I don't just want to watch these games on TV, but I want to go there to that place and hang out because it looks like it's amazing.
Both believe that working on a project like this one will only make their bond stronger.
Well, my dad is a diva, you know.
Devo.
A divo. And he's very, very difficult to work with, and he doesn't laugh at all, and he's not much fun. So it's rough. It's really rough. But I'm doing it, I think, for a greater good, a greater cause. Oh, it's been amazing, you know. We've talked about doing a trip like this in a non-work related way for probably 20 years since my dad first came back home. And the first time we did it was on the second Jalo tour, which was his homecoming tour with Sanko Mota and Bayete. And that was my first time in South Africa. And we were just working. We were just going city to city to city to city. But we didn't get to stop and breathe and take it in. And we really didn't get to do it together because we were just working. And now, you know, we're just on this road trip that the rest of the world is coming along on the journey. And so it's made it a ton of fun.
We have also very, very humorous, because we like to talk a lot of rubbish together, creative rubbish. So we laugh a lot together. But he's also a community worker, like me and like my parents, and that bonds us very closely too. So we have a very strong bond, and I think this is just another link in it.
we have a father-son relationship, but at the same time, I think we're really, really great friends. We're buddies. We're guys who hang out and have a good time together. And, like any dad, I learned an immense amount from my father. I think I've patterned a lot of my life after the examples he's given me. But I think we have a really great respect for each other, which allows us to have a really, really good time together. But yeah, he's good times. He's really good times.
Umlando, Through My Father's Eyes, premieres on ESPN on the 11th of June.